Hey guys, it's Lynn. Day 10 of my 22 Push-Up Challenge 2.0. Hope everybody is well today. I just wanted to make a few final points about MST to wrap that up as our main topic, although MST will come up in things I talk about in subsequent videos, as it is related to other issues our combat vets face when they return home from deployment. But in terms of wrapping up MST as a main theme, this first actual half of my Challenge 2.0, I wanted to mention regarding the MST kit I talked about in Day 9 of Challenge 2.0, where I discussed the items that would be helpful to you to have at easy disposal if you were if you incurred sexual trauma or sexual assault. To add a couple of things to that small kit, I would include constipation medications such as Colace. If you are able to take that, it's an over-the-counter stool softener, and maybe 7 of those, one a day for the week following, would be where I would start with that. So that's what I would add. I would add those to the kit. I would also include cotton briefs. Cotton is much more comfortable. It is not something that traps heat the way non-cotton briefs often do, and so it helps in healing that way, and again in comfort. And it's very easy to use things like thin absorbent pads or gauze in briefs that are closer to your body, that are more snug. So a pair or 2 of those would not be a bad idea to add to your MST kit if you choose to put one together. Which would not be a bad idea, as I mentioned yesterday, if you feel at risk or if you feel you are going to be isolated for a period of time in a place where your risk of MST may be increased due to your situation, the place you are, or the people that you are around. So yeah, I wanted to just throw those things in there, and I also wanted to mention that regarding post-care, really good reminders are to not use oil-based creams or lubricants to soothe inflammation in your private area, or as we say medically, your perineal area or genital area after sexual trauma. Often oil-based ointments may cause you more discomfort and potentially more damage because they burn. No antifungals unless directed by a medical professional, a physician, nurse practitioner, someone whose medical knowledge base and assistance you've sought after your trauma should direct the use of those types of things after something like a traumatic injury to your area, your private area. No alcohol-based products to cleanse wounds or tears, because again, they will burn. No Epsom salt that has been infused with things like eucalyptus or peppermint. Those will also burn the area and cause a lot of inflammation and, again, potential damage to good tissue. So just plain Epsom salt for sitz baths. And no opioids for pain control, because they have a great constipating effect and will create other medical issues that you need to deal with potentially. So those are the don'ts post sexual trauma, whether it's vaginal or rectal. I wanted to make note of the fact that the hashtags that I've used in this part of the series, namely the general hashtag support at the ready, that is a hashtag I will continue to use, mostly in association with what I think would be helpful information, whether it be resources or general information about the types of things combat vets go through when they are deployed and when they return home, the kind of issues they face, but also helpful links, etc. I've also created the hashtag recently care on the radar, and I will continue with that hashtag in trying to provide functional information for people, such as the MST kit that I talked about yesterday. The type of information individuals do require if they feel they're at risk, and if they're not sure if they're in a situation where they can actually find help immediately after the assault. In terms of other things we talk about in this series, I will most likely use the Care on the Radar hashtag as well, if I've got some information that may be pertinent contextually and functional. Okay, and lastly, I wanted to drive home the point, especially to those who have incurred sexual trauma, MST. I can't say enough that what happened is not your fault. And if you remember nothing else from this series, if you watch this or any of these videos, remember that this MST sexual trauma is something that happened to you. It is not something that you made happen. It is not your fault. You may find that the safe spaces that you've trusted prior to your assault are not spaces that you're sure if you're comfortable in afterwards. And I think the best direction I can give you is to seek the company of people you trust, whether or not they're people you talk to about what happened to you. Let yourself be in the company of people you know that you trust, and that is a good place to really start. I wanted to make note also that if you have been assaulted and chosen not to report it, but subsequently down the road decide that you may want to do that, you certainly should speak to a legal professional and not consider that off the table because you didn't report it immediately. Now, there are difficulties and issues that obviously may go with that choice, but I would not discourage anyone who feels they need to seek help or seek legal help, not just medical help, to do so, regardless of what you chose to do initially after your assault. So I wanted to be very clear about that. I think the final point I would like to really leave you with is that the power is in survival. The power is not in the attack. The attack, the attackers, that is the embodiment of weakness. Real power, regardless of the ups and the downs, is in surviving this horrible offense that had been perpetrated upon you. So understand the power is in those of you that have gone through this and pushed through however you could. And weakness is not yours. It is in your attackers. Okay, I think that's all I have to say for tonight. I'm going to do my 22 push-ups, see how that goes, and tomorrow maybe talk about what the rest of the plan is for the rest of this 22 push-up challenge 2.0. Thanks, everybody, and here we go. Okay, I think that was 22. I will go count them as usual. Thank you again, everyone, for your support, for listening, and for being a big part of this very important conversation. So I look forward to talking to you tomorrow. Have a great evening. Tomorrow I'll be on day 11 of my 22 push-up challenge 2.0. All right, talk to you then.